We're at a pivotal point in crypto right now where we're either about to drop down fast, lose all of your profits, or we're about to make a positive turnaround. We're gonna cover everything that you need to know about Bitcoin, Ethereum, SUI, and what I'll be doing with my altcoin portfolio strategy. All right, Bitcoin, what is going on with it? We are seeing a sell-off, especially from what we can tell as the ETF. So we did see a sell-off, basically a sell the news event. What now, right? So I'm looking at this and going, you know what? I bought my Bitcoin. Most of my actual spot Bitcoin was bought under 20K. I'm sitting here going, I'm here for the whole cycle. And we haven't even had halving yet. Why would I panic sell here? It doesn't really make a lot of sense. We usually see 30% sell-offs, at least 5 to 7 times a cycle in the past. And this could just be leading into our first one, which would coincide with the 200 EMA and about a $35,000 level. It also would coincide with the bottom of the cloud, which when we look at the chart, the bottom of the cloud sometimes in the past, if you go back on the charts, you will see it is a level where we've actually seen bounces happen during bull markets and it kind of faked a lot of people out that were not thinking on a macro. So that's what I am seeing. We likely are going to see that happen. And if we get to the first level, which 40,500, that would be potentially where we're going to see a bounce. We're seeing a tweezer bottom, but not the end of the day yet. So we'd have to just wait for that. And it's likely that we could see it come down to 38,000 as well. But if we're going to have that traditional 30% sell-off, we could go into the 35K zone. But what should you be doing? Should you short now? The thing is, most of the stuff that's happening right now is because of GBTC, sell-offs, and there's not a crazy amount of people coming into the market. The funds and all these big people are trying to get approval for it to be approved in the market. So that's why we're waiting on that. And we're seeing some strength in other coins. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But what should you do right now if you were coach? What I'm doing is I'm just holding. I know that Bitcoin is going to go higher in the next while. And if you don't need that money right now and you're not in leverage positions, you can relax. If you are in leverage positions, you're going to get stop hunted. You're going to get liquidity grabbed. We saw that twice with our ETF on both those days, the pumps and the dumps that liquidated billions of dollars. We probably had about, I think it was $300 million liquidations yesterday, somewhere around that. And you know, if you're playing high leverage right now, trying to play the market and be smarter than everyone else, don't do it right now. Kind of sit on the sidelines if you haven't sold any yet, and just kind of wait and look for buy the dip levels. Next up, I want to show you something interesting happening with Ethereum, Solana, and SUI. After that, I'm going to be diving into my altcoin portfolio. And if you just got into the market in the last 3 months, what I would be doing in that scenario. Okay, so Ethereum. Now this is an outlier, and I'm going to show you something that's happening with Ethereum and then SUI to show you exactly what they're doing and how similar they both are, so you can understand the analysis on two coins quite quickly, right? So we look at this and we see a bullish Kucoin. Anytime you see the lagging span, which is bullish, is above the candlesticks. Next up, you can look for your Tenkin above your Kijun, your fast EMA above your slow EMA. Show us if we're going up faster than slow, that is awesome. And if it's going down faster, we're going to see short opportunities. So this is showing us that we're still bullish. We're above the cloud, so we're still bullish. So right now, I did expect that sell-off on ETH. We're seeing hype from the ETH ETF, likely from the same people who filed for the Bitcoin one. I mean, if you're gonna approve Bitcoin, why wouldn't you approve Ethereum? So I could see that potentially being approved. When we're looking to buy Ethereum, if you're looking in that zone, we did have just one quick lesson for all of you. When we have a level like this as a resistance at around $2,380, and we really tried to break through it many times, and we get a huge boner candle, which is exactly what happened with ETH, we likely come down and retest. We come down to retest as support the same level, which is around $2,380. It also coincides with our 21 EMA, the yellow level, our Tenkin, and our Kijun. So we have all this, and we also have the level itself. So we have a lot of support right there. It's like bouncing off a trampoline with 3 trampolines at the bottom. It's really hard to break through that. And we could see it happen for sure, but it's less than likely right now. And that's what the chart is telling us. We go with what the chart tells us, not what we feel. So we're seeing very similar things with ETH and SUI. Bullish Chiku span, Tenkin above Kijun, 21 EMA over here, above the cloud. All these are bullish signs. There's nothing telling us on a macro level that SUI is going bearish, and we do have 4 levels of support, all packed in a really small window. That's likely where the price is going to come back down to. And honestly, if you really think about this, SUI and Ethereum have very similar charts, so you'd be looking for the exact same thing with both. So if you're someone who wants to buy into SUI, that could be good opportunities for buying levels. Also, if you're someone who's scared that we're going to go much lower, the risk reward here is not very big, meaning the amount of money you could lose by it bouncing there and going right back up to $1.22 are not as good as just waiting and buying on the dips. So that's what I would not be looking to do in a bull market. Don't try to short too often and don't try to use too much leverage. Great website to check out. I want to show you something about SUI. Some people made some comments. So let me go through that and explain to you why this app is so important for you to know when there's vesting schedules, meaning there's inflation of supply. Go on this website, token.unlocks.app. And what you can do there is you can see when are tokens getting vested to private sale, VC funds, KOLs, public sales, you see everything, right? And you can actually plan for what potentially would be a sell-off coming. So the people have been saying, Coach, you're gonna get wrecked, everybody, blah, blah. Well, in reality, there's been a very small amount of inflation so far, and it's been mainly for their own organizational stuff like community resources and access. But that doesn't mean they're actually selling those into the market. Where you have to look is where we're looking here around June, we start seeing the early contributors, as you see on the screen right here, they start getting lots of tokens. And within the first month, there's already an unlock of almost $150 million to those people. So of course, that's when you start to get worried because Mistin Labs and SUI could go much higher. And then SUI could go much more inflationary, and obviously from now till then, it could go to like $3, let's say, and there's a lot more sell pressure. That 125 mil, 127 mil turns into like 3 times as much sell pressure coming in. And then you have that monthly unlock every single month after that. And as you can see, as we go higher and higher here on the right side where it says SUI, you see all the amounts of unlocks and how much they're worth. It's a lot of money, right? That's when you have to worry. That's when you flip from things like SUI in May, right before those unlocks start, and you go into their ecosystem projects, because if SUI is successful, their ecosystem will also grow massively. That's why I'm showing you videos on SUI. This is some alpha you should definitely add to your arsenal. Next up, Solana. So how's Solana look? Okay, well, we're looking here, and it doesn't really look actually that great. It had a massive run up. Let's be honest. Solana had $118 from $12. So if we think about that, it went on a massive run, and this is a major crypto cap, so it went up a lot. Came up to $118, talked about that as a level of potential opportunity to take profits. And I said that because if you take profits, you can always buy the dips. Well, you can have a great opportunity if you sold there coming up right now if we bounce off the Kijun again, but I'm seeing things that are bearish, like our Chiku spans running into our candles and could go below them in the next 5 days if we don't go higher. Not so good. Another thing you're seeing is that Tenkins, the fast EMA is starting to look like it's gonna come down and cross below the slow EMA, which is bearish. We're still above the cloud, which is bullish. So it's in that indecision zone. And what should you do when the market's undecided? Very simply, what I do is I take a little bit more profits. And if it goes up, I don't care because I have the money secured versus if it goes down to, let's say $78 and potentially all the way down to $57 or $60, then I can just buy a lot more Solana because we're not in a bear market. We're just in that limbo before having, and the real pumps haven't come. The retail hasn't really come yet. It's coming though. Don't miss this kind of stuff. It's gonna definitely be there. And if you've only been here for about 3 to 6 months, I'm gonna tell you what you should be kind of thinking about. And if you have lots of capital on the sidelines, because I told everyone, don't put all your money in the market, we could see the dip, you will know exactly what to do. So we're looking at Myria right now, and whoa, it's had a really bearish retracement off of the top of the cloud as resistance, and it's starting to come back down. This is why it's so important to be following me, guys, because 4 days ago in this video right here, you can watch this little clip for a second, and it's very likely that if it keeps being held down, that we're gonna see a sell-off. Now, price could only go somewhere to like, let's say 7,000, 0.007000. All right, so I was trying to warn you that we were seeing a lot of bearish things. And that's why I'm telling you guys with Solana and stuff. We had a very similar thing happen here with the Chiku spam where it ran into the candlesticks. We did get a couple bearish signs like a bearish TK crossover here. We're seeing those getting further apart, meaning our fast EMA, our sell-offs are going faster than our buys. So you're seeing a bearish twist, right? This is called a bearish twist right here. And what are we gonna see next? Well, we're not seeing a bearish Kumo twist over here, which means the cloud didn't turn red yet. But as you can clearly see, we're below the cloud. Our Chiku span's bearish, and we had a bearish TK cross. We had a bearish retest of the top of the cloud right here. I'll even zoom in on that so you can see. It used that, but then it used the 21 EMA and the Tenkan as resistance, and Tweezer topped off of that, and now we started going on a decline. Where is Myria gonna go though? Well, we have a clear level right here at about 5 cents. So if you were in the trade all the way back then, you could have made a really nice profit, but could you make another profit right now? Well, if you sold and it does go down to the next level, because there's really nothing stopping it from going there unless it bounces right now, basically off this level here, which is very weak, we likely are gonna see it come down to that 5 cent range. Now, maybe this 100 EMA or 200 EMA could hold it off, but it's very likely we're gonna come down lower. If you sold off Myria, those are levels that you should be looking at somewhere between here and here, but likely knowing that there's a second zone just below, and we can see that sell-off go all the way down to 5 cents right down here. That's that level that we ripped through and we never retested. Another great example of what I talked about just earlier in the video, these are alpha things that you can do very easily. All you have to do is draw the levels in the chart. It's that simple, and they come into play multiple times as you trade on the same charts over and over and over again. I've used some levels like 20 different times on different years even, because that's what actually happens. It goes to retest levels. So we held that level at 5 cents and we couldn't break through. We ripped through and we never came back down. Likely we're gonna retest that level. That's what I'd be looking for. That's what you should be looking for. And if you're in Myria and you're like, but it's already down a lot, coach, I'm down, let's say 60%. It probably your risk reward right now is like, okay, if you're up a lot from buying it earlier, you could take profit and buy lower because it's likely going there. If you're someone who's emotional and doesn't really trade well, I mean, we know this is the start of the cycle. So my personal opinion is I buy and hold for cycles, projects that I like. Myria is one of them. I'm not too concerned in the short term. If you are, you got too much money in the market, and take some out so that you don't stress about how much money is in the market. That's really good advice for anyone at home. Don't ever get too emotionally attached to your coins and put too much of your money in. You need to live still, you need to pay your bills still, and don't gamble your money away. We're gonna put an absolute amount of amazing analysis, amazing projects for you guys to learn from this cycle. You should be following this channel. This is where to get it. Make sure you subscribe, share it to your friends so that they can learn as well, and I'll see you guys next time.